everybody, and welcome to Puremix Live, which hopefully is live. Right now, I'm told it's live. It's live. It's live. So today we have the great pleasure of welcoming Cyrille Aimee, who's going to play a set with us with a new band we haven't heard yet. And we're going to keep this very informal, just like a studio session, meaning that since there's no audience, in between songs, there's going to be the awkward silence. You can clap at home by yourselves in front of you and your cat or whatever. And they're just going to communicate on the song because they just gathered a couple hours ago and they played these songs together once each. And that's it so far. So how very New York, how very jazz of this situation. So, and then after the songs, I will come back and geek out and explain to you how I set up the rig and everything. So today we have drums, organ, who's also going to play bass with his left hand, trumpet, and Cyrille. Will, Wayne, Francesco, and Cyrille. Voilà. So you have to give me like 15 seconds to go back to the control room, and then you hit it. I'll tell you in the talk back.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
All right.
All right.
What's my note? We'll start right on it. Okay, ready?
All right.
Okay.
And we are ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. Day by day, I'm falling more in love with you. And day by day, my love seems to grow. There isn't any end to my devotion. It's a deeper, dear, by far than any ocean. I find that day by day, you're making all my dreams come true. So come what may, I want you to know I'm yours alone, and in love we'll stay as we go through the years, day by day. Devotion. It's deeper, dear, by far all my dreams come true. So come what may, I want you to know I'm yours alone, and in love we'll stay as we go through the years, as we go through the years, as we go through the years, day by day. Yeah, all right. So that was Day by Day, a nice jazz standard. And now we're gonna do a song that I wrote called Make You Dance. Dum, 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 dum. This morning I woke up with a bird in my hand. It was singing this sweet little song made for us. It flew around for a while until I got out of bed. Then I got ready and out in the rain to wait for the bus. And every day the sun shines, I'm reminded of every good night kiss we've ever shared. So I don't want another day without you, you know I'll get my way. I just want another chance to show to you that I can make you dance light as a feather. Well, it seems like 1,000 nights ago you were still here, but in my dreams like 1,000 lights alone I can still hear that soft, bittersweet melody, paradise of dawn, shining out of my heart every morning when I realize you're gone. And every day the sun shines, I'm reminded of every good night kiss we've ever shared. So I don't want another day without you, you know I'll get my way. I just want another chance to show to you that I can make you dance. And since you left, I've been telling myself to keep my chin up. I keep running into people you know, and they won't shut up. Why can't they see that it hurts when they tell me about your future wife? Whoa. I guess that tune will be stuck in my head for the rest of my life. I don't want another day without you, you know I'll get my way. I just want another chance to show to you that I can make you dance. I don't want another day without you, you know I'll get my way. I just want another chance to show to you that I can make you dance light as a feather. All right. Clap, clap.
What next?
This next song is another standard. And it's a very, very happy song called I'll Never Smile Again. Can you show me the chord so I can say? Okay, nice and slow. I'll never smile again until I smile at you. I'll never laugh again. What good would it do? For tears will fill my eyes. My heart would realize that our romance is through. I'll never love again. I'm so in love with you. I'll never thrill again to somebody new. Within my heart, I know I would never start to smile again until I smile at you. I'll never thrill again. To somebody new. I know I could never start to smile again until until I smile at you. Yeah, baby. Ooh. All right. Now we're gonna do a ballad, and all right. This next one is a Chet Baker standard called "Do It the Hard Way." Yeah, you guys do the intro, and then you and me take it from there. Want to kind of rough? Do it the hard way and it's easy sailing. Do it the hard way and it's hard to lose. Only the soft way has a chance of failing. You have to choose. I tried the hard way when I tried to get you. You took the soft way when you said we'll see. Darling, now I'll let you do it the hard way now that you want me. Do it the hard way. Do the I try to get you, you have to choose. I tried the hard way when I tried to get you. You took the soft way when you said you'll see. Darling, now I'll let you do it the hard way. Do it the hard way. Do it the hard way now that you want me. You mean pineapples? All right. Now we're gonna do a song that I wrote called Inside Out. Inside and Out. I can't believe I overlooked the signs. Was easier for me to close my eyes. There's something growing in me, taking up a space inside me, and still you make me see how love is blind. Make no mistake, I know this sounds crazy, but in the end, we'll meet again. Even when the sun shines on me, I will think of you. I just need a little time. I will build a house so steady for you to come back to. Yeah, this body's yours and mine, inside and out. Some people say I'm trying to run away, that there will be a heavy price to pay. But there's something dying in me, holding on to my life, and we know there isn't any other way. Make no mistake, I love you like crazy when I see your face. Ooh, to hold you tight and to just feel you, and in the end, to meet again. Even when the sun shines on me, I will think of Thank you, guys. Oh, yeah. Maybe so. All right.
Cyrille, it would be nice if you could introduce everybody.
Yes, that's a very good idea. And I was about to do that because we're arriving to the last song. And traditionally, it's kind of the thing to do. So I would like to please introduce on the trumpet one of my oldest friends here. I met him when I first arrived in America because we went to school together at Purchase College, and we've been playing ever since for like 12 years. Mr. Wayne Tucker. And his record is coming out next week, September 28th, and it's called Wake Up and See the Sun.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on it too.
Great cover.
Yeah, it's got a great cover. On the drums, he's also an old friend, not as old as Wayne. He's a very old person. No, just kidding.
I'm younger.
He's got eyes behind those glasses, but there he is. He's from Italy, and he's one of my favorite drummers on the brushes, and that's Francesco Ciniglio. And on the organ, this great guy that was recommended to me by Wayne that I met a few hours ago. And I don't think this is the last thing we're gonna do because this sounds really nice. Mr. Willem Dellisfort.
Bilardo. Bilardo.
All right, and now for our last number. This is actually a song from a movie called My Fair Lady, and it's called I Could Have Danced All Night. Oh yeah, bridge in 3, and yeah, soft groove at the beginning, and then hard groove on the second 8. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night and still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done 1,000 things I'd never done before. I never knew what made it so exciting. Why all at once my heart took flight. I only know when he began to dance with me. I could have danced, danced, danced all night. Yeah, Wayne Tucker, William Dallasford, Francesco Ciniglio.
That was awesome. That was beautiful, guys. Very, very, very nice. So this is the part where we geek out. So I have to wait a second so that Andrew can switch to
Et,
camera that
il
moves.
est obligé de rester, par exemple.
No.
Non.
You gotta split, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all good. Thanks, man.
Okay.
You sound like an angel with the pedals and stuff. All right. So who do I talk to? I hope you guys enjoyed this on the other side of the internet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the setup. So today I did something very different than I usually do because this was all ribbon microphones. Everything here was done with the ribbon microphone. There were no condensers and no dynamics. Feel free. Nice to see you. Cheers. And the choice was like, I made a few records with Cyrille and I know how she sounds and I know more or less what was going to happen overall. Although I had never heard the songs and I had never heard these guys on how they played, I have a basic idea of what it should sound like. And I thought it'd be cool to have everything done with ribbons and see what happens. So let's start with Cyrille. So Cyrille was singing into RCA 77DX, which we just got at Flux, and it sounded great. So now, ribbons have the reputation of being darker, right? And I don't know, it didn't sound dark to me. The reason for that is because I actually EQ'd, I had an EQ across the two mix, which I'll show you in a mix in a minute, that had actually high end for everyone. So I was able to compensate for the darker quality of the ribbons. However, I got all the benefits of the ribbons, which is like, you know, a lot less compression needed and everything is more even. So Cyrille was singing straight into the 77DX, no pop filter, nothing. And there was a little bit of LA3 compression on her. I'll show you. The other interesting thing is they were, sorry, there were no monitors. These guys played live and balanced themselves. The only thing I did is I sent a copy, like a send from Cyrille's mic into a Bose, one of those L1 things that they use for live sound. And it scatters waves very well, so I have no feedback problem. See, the microphone is pointed at the Bose, and I'm getting no feedback problem. So she's sitting here, and she has her own voice with no latency coming back through this speaker, allows her to feel more powerful and not have to scream, not hurt herself over drums and an organ. So that's the only non-fully acoustic in the room thing, is a little bit of a feed for Cyrille. For the trumpet, I used the 44 because that's what you're supposed to do. So our good friend Bill Moss loaned us the 44 for this particular exercise. I had never used it before. It takes a second. It took me a while to get used to it because the dynamics of it is very different from what I'm used to, very different from this, for example. But I think that it was great for him. And he went through an LA2, and all the pre's were all the Neve pre's from my 33 console, which is a 1974 Neve broadcast console that's been modified to do music, meaning it now is stereo. Stereo is great. I got used to stereo really quickly. The 44 goes straight into the Neve and then has an LA2 inserted, and that's that. That's all that happened. For the drums, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, we have all new stands. We just got an amazing set of stands from Latch Lake, and those are awesome, especially if you look at the drums. you see that for the drums we have 3 microphones but 2 stands, because we were able to use one of the latch leg extensions for the bass drum. So the bass drum microphone is actually held by one of the overhead stands, which is really awesome. And it's the first time we were able to do that. So I'm really excited about this. Less stands, less trouble. So for the drums, 2 coils and on the overheads. And Francesco has a very light touch, and he's very, very precise. And I didn't want to do like the whole like wide open stereo thing because it's unnatural sounding to me. So what I did is actually got the microphones pretty centered, and it gives a very focused tone. And I thought. And also he switched from a lot of ride to some brushes to some backbeat. And to be able to pull off the backbeat, I really needed to have something over the snare, not too wide. And the bass drum is a 122 Royal 122. And it's just like put straight in front of the bass drum. And I actually got a lot of bass out of it, but I had to high pass it because it was fighting with the organ in unbelievable way. And so I actually high passed the 122, and then I regretted it. But since we started the broadcast, then I left it as is. Failure. And then for the organ, we have 3 microphones. Sorry, Andrew. We good? So typical, Mac the horn. Some people put it here. One here. Some people one here. I do both. Today I decided this one. I don't know if I would do it differently. It sounded good to me. These are 313s by Shure. They used to be made by a company called Crawley or Tripp and Crawley or something like that. And then Shure bought them. And they're awesome ribbons. They're really great. They're not vintage ribbons like the 77 or the 44, but they're really great ribbons. And then on the low end of the cabinet, so you can get the bass, because that's the problem with an organ player who plays bass, is you get the high end here, but also the low end here, and then the bottom speaker down there gives you the oomph. And so I have a 101, also a ribbon. And here's the thing. Everything is behind this volume pedal. So that means that when he hits hard, because he's soloing, the bass raises. And then when he wants to be quiet, the bass lowers. So I had to compensate the whole time between the bass and the high end without any notice from anyone. I had a little bit of compression, a stereo SSR compressor to help me with that. But in the end, it got complicated. So I actually kept raising the threshold so that I could do more by myself. And that is always a problem when you track an organ who's playing bass, like an organ trio like this. It's really hard to keep the bass centered and make you feel good because you have this anchor in the middle and still get the expression, because an organ has no velocity. It's on-off, right? So they do the velocity with their foot, and they're really used to that, and they're very good at it. But that means that the bass gets the velocity, and that is hell on earth. So that's it, really. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 microphones. That's it. Nothing else. I made a lot of noise for 8 microphones. Let's go to the control room and talk about the console and the outboard and stuff like that. Andrew, are you going to follow me with this? You're going to follow me with this, so you need to untether. Okay. All right. See you in the control room. And now, reporting live from the control room. Hi, Andrew. Andrew's had a long day so far. The 1974 Neve I mentioned earlier. And as you can see, this is how I organized it on the console. I have the let me mute this. I have the low microphone of the organ separate. The reason why it's separate is because it used to be here, but this channel died during a very short rehearsal. So in the middle of that, I started getting like gremlins and aliens in the console. So I quickly switched to 12. That's why it's out of order. So 17 is going to get looked at no later than very soon. On 13, I have the bass drum, which is the 122. And I'm high passing it, as I mentioned. And I'm adding a little point so I can hear more. And that is going to a pair of buses, in the same buses as the overheads, the two coils, which are also a little bit high passed. So now I have a blend of these three microphones into the bus. That bus is going to a pair of distressors, and that they're on 221 with a fast attack. They are just so in case there's like one hit or something that's very fast that I don't have the time to catch. It's not compressing all the time. It's just compressing when he has a huge dynamic range that I could not foretell. And so it helps me not blow your ears out of the water. So that's the drums, just three mics going through a bus, a stereo bus, which is fed to the distressors, and then I bring it back here. And on here, I added a little high end over the course of the broadcast because I felt it was a little too dark after I started. So that happened. And then the organ. So the organ, as I mentioned, since channel 17 died, we moved to 12, and it's the same principle. The low and the two high microphones, which are the 313s by Shure, are being blended into a bus, stereo bus. That stereo bus is going to a SSL, a bus compressor, and that is coming back here. I'm using 2-to-1 automatic release, almost no makeup, because it was literally just to make sure I wasn't getting blown out of the water or you. And that comes back here. And same thing, I high passed at the same level as the drums so that everything stays in phase. Then for the trumpet, I had the 44, which is coming right here. I high passed it a lot to get rid of some of the bass of the organ, which was giving it distance. It was not as fun to listen to with all that distance. And it's going through an LA2A in limit mode. And when it was really hard, the needle went really far, but most of the time it was like 4 or 5 dBs of compression, no more. And Cyrille, same thing, going straight through the channel, adding a little high end right here because she needed to stand out. And then I high passed at 82. And that went through an LA3, and I probably got 2 or 3 dBs of compression on there pretty much continuously, but not that much more because she's got crazy control, so she doesn't have the big peaks, except in her song. In her song, that line, that blew me out of the water, so I dug it by hand because I heard the song once before. So basically, I have the microphones right here for the instruments, and then for the multi-instruments. And then I brought them back here in stereo channels so I could write easily, because basically the whole show I was writing, because even though their dynamics are good, I still needed to compensate for solos and also for different vibes of things I wanted to feature, which was easy to do because I had just basically 4 faders. One for the trumpet, one for Cyrille, one for the organ, a pair for the organ, and a pair for the drums. So that's how I did it. The whole show I was blending, trying to get it to sound as close to a record as possible, despite the fact that I hadn't heard the music before. Then I started with just one reverb, my EMT plate. I have an EMT 140, and I hit it from the console with this sand, the rev sand right here. Then throughout the rehearsal, after like a few minutes of rehearsal, I realized I didn't like putting too much of that reverb on the drums because it made things just long in a unprecise kind of way. So I lowered that reverb, and then I brought my Bricasti up for a plate too, so it blends with the other one, but shorter. So basically, I had a shorter plate just for the drums, and then my regular long plate to give the vibe of the whole record. That allowed me to blend the reverb of the drum. So you didn't hear there were 2 reverbs. You only heard 1 reverb, but there really were 2. And that allowed me to push the drums back, not be so present, but not wash them out. So that was kind of fun. And so these 6 faders, plus the 2 reverb returns, are going through the main bus of the console, because this console has a stereo bus, which is labeled 2-track, because remember, it was a broadcast console in the past life, and then 4 mono buses. So I only have 6 buses, so you have to be very careful how you route things. So I use a stereo bus as my final mix. Then I sent that to a 33609 on 151 ratio with just a little bit of threshold, nothing drastic. and it was doing like 1 or 2 dBs. It was just kind of like a rider, kind of like a fader rider. It wasn't doing that. And then coming out of that, going to this pair of Neumann PEVs, and those Neumann PEVs are there with 3 dBs of gain at 10K, and that's how I compensated for the fact that it's all ribbons and it didn't sound dark, because I had 3 dBs at 10K across the whole mix at all times. And I started with that, which means that when I chose my EQs and everything on my different instruments, I heard the Neumann pushing 3 dBs at all times, which means I wasn't compelled to push so much on the channels, and that allowed me to have that texture, which was very natural, without sounding like a bunch of. So that happened, and then the output of that Neumann comes back to channel 33, 34 on the console. Why do I do that? Well, for several reasons. First, it allows me to choose how loud I send the stuff to you, so I can see on my meter over there, and also on my meter in Pro Tools, because I recorded the stems of this, although none of what you heard went through Pro Tools. All you heard just went straight out of the console, but I recorded stems in Pro Tools for later use. And also it allows me to have a peak meter right here. And I was able to ride the different levels of the different songs to compensate for the different levels of energy, so you can hear something as close as possible without having to use a limiter or some sort of a crazy broadcast security system that would change the nature of the sound and pretty much ruin the exercise, since the whole point is for you to hear the rawest, purest, most unprocessed and unfucked with sound that can come out of this place. And so the output of these 2 channels, the direct out of these 2 channels, is then malted with our good old malt right here on the patch bay. 1 pair goes to me for me to listen to, and 1 pair goes to you for you to listen to. And I think that's it. I monitored most of the time on these CMS 50s, which work amazing on this in this environment, and we put them. They used to be on stands in the back, but now we got these isoacoustic pucks, and they actually work good, and we no longer have to have the stands in the back, which is great. So we can actually walk behind the console now. Most of the time I listen to that, and sometimes I listen on the SM9s to make sure that I didn't blow out the bottom. And when I had stereo problems, because I got a notice from our good friend Ben Lindell that the organ was slightly off-centered, then I checked on those headphones to make sure that I wasn't screwing up. And that's it. I think that's it. It's a very simple setup. I'd like you to keep in mind that these guys played these songs twice in their life. Once before you see them, and once while you were watching. And that's the testament to the quality of musicians you can get when you start delving into the depth of New York City. And that's it. I think that's it for this broadcast. So send us some feedback. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what we can do better. And we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Ciao.